Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Random Things with Anthony and Kayla. We're starting the season off with a bang.
Today we are going to be discussing the Mandela Catalogue, the first video in the series, chronologically, Overthrown.
So for those of you that don't know what the Mandela Catalogue is, it is an analog horror series on YouTube created by Alex Kister. Analog horror is a subgenre of horror that has the aesthetic of old and vintage media, such as VHS tapes and cassette tapes. The genre focuses on the grainy footage and distorted audios, creating an unsettling environment.
Remember, this is only the first of many episodes about the Mandela Catalogue. We are going to give you the Overthrown synopsis and explain the video. This synopsis is taken from IMDb. Quote, alternate Gabriel systematically sabotages the Annunciation. He announces himself as the one true savior, fooling the shepherds.
Now we're going to explain the video as a whole. We begin with two shepherds tending to their sheep, being interrupted by a voice in the sky saying, quote, do not be afraid. I bring good news of great joy for you all people. Tonight your Savior was born in Davistown. He is Christ the Lord. You will find him wrapped in a soft cloth and lying in a manger. Unquote. A scene of angels comes before the screen projects a message saying, quote, rejoice, Jesus is born. Unquote. A TTS voice narrates a story, quote, a long time ago, there was a woman named Mary who lived in the city of Nazareth. She was in love with a man named Joseph. Mary was young and a virgin, but she got a very special message from an angel named Redacted. Unquote. The angel then descends to Mary, but before speaking, he is first seen with a heavily distorted face, which is then censored as they continue. Quote, I am the angel Gabriel. I've come to bring good news. Unquote. Mary then drops her basket in surprise, asking the angel, quote, news for me? Unquote. The screen then freezes and whispers can be heard, and if you watch these videos, make sure you got closed captions on. Quote, I am the one true Savior. I must reverse the delusion. Joseph is next. Unquote. Mary then replies, quote, whatever God shown in the captions as God's wants, I will do, unquote. And after Gabriel ascends to the sky.
The next scene, Joseph is seen sleeping while Gabriel is staring at him through the window. The angel tells Joseph to wake up repeatedly. We are then brought back to the shepherds again, interrupted by the angel, only this time his face is censored and is surrounded by darkness. The angel greets the shepherds, quote, I have great news. I am your true savior. I know everything that makes you human. I know what you love. I know what you dread, unquote. Afterwards, we are shown the face of the angel, which looks normal, then distorts, tall eyes and large mouth, almost like it's stretched. Then the screen goes black, then a Bible verse appears in the captions.
2 Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Screen still black. We then can hear panting. Then we get more messages in the captions. Quote, how frozen I became and powerless then. Ask it not, reader, for I write it not. Because all languages would be insufficient. I did not die, and I alive remain not. Think for thyself now. Hast thou aught of which, oh my goodness, what I become, being of both deprived, unquote. Then we are met with a landscape of a desert with text in bold red saying, quote, Can't you see? I deceive them. Such weak minds, unquote.
A shot of Nazareth is shown, now with a text in thin gray font reading, quote, I am bound to my chains on my ankles that grow heavier with every step. The infinite tomb of sand will be my tomb, and my foolishness will be my legacy. If there is a God, please help me, unquote. The end displays on the screen with the Looney Tunes ending song playing in the background.
So now we got some questions to answer to kind of add to the discussion of what this video was about and how we felt about it. So the first question is, what was your initial thought when watching the video for the first time?
I'd have to say, like, even now, rewatching it, I still get, like, the weird, like, heebie-jeebie, like, goosebumps. I would say, well, I know that the second question is, like, were you unsettled or,
Yeah.
Did it feel creepy to you, whatever. I'd say both.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, a sense of, like, nostalgia because some of the buildings they go into, it always seems, like, eerily familiar.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's creepy as hell.
It is.
And you're left with like a sense of dread and unsettled,
Like you know something's wrong.
Like something's creeping around the corner. Like
yeah, something's wrong.
You know that this may not be our life that we just watched. Like this is a different, I want to say universe is what it seems like because this is not anything that we have ever run across.
Right.
But no, definitely creepy and unsettling. That is definitely
It's definitely both.
Yeah, that's the two top words I'd use to describe the whole series.
I don't know how you are nowadays because I've talked about this before. Well, I'm a believer, so this creeps me out in a different way,
right?
Because I believe in
like the biblical,
the actual Jesus, and this angel supposedly is supposed to be Gabriel, and it just creeps me out because it's like it's obviously not the God or the Jesus,
right? But like an imposter, like a false prophet.
Yes.
Well, and my thing now that you've talked about like that you believe it biblically and that you are a believer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, you know how they say that we have doppelgangers and all that.
Yeah.
What if, like, if we could compare it to real life scenarios? Mm-hmm. People say that there's like 10 different versions of us that like we all look the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're just in different parts of wherever.
Yeah.
Like, what if the Mandela Catalogue was actually about like evil, like doppelgangers,
right?
And like you meet your end when you meet your
right,
your twin.
All right, since we got the first two out of the way, because we both answered them in one, the next question is, what is your favorite part about this video? If you have a favorite part.
I'm a sucker for anthology series. I'm a sucker for true crime and real gory stuff. So I'd have to say just the whole series in general. I know that is kind of vague, but a lot of it, you're questioning yourself, like, how does that make sense? How can I make that make sense to me? So I would just, like I said, I'd say the whole thing because each video touches on a part that I'm intrigued in, whether it be true crime, and I'm not trying to spoil any further episodes, but
right.
touches into true crime, it touches into imposters, it touches into, like simple things is, just chatting with a buddy.
Yeah.
And stuff is glitching and changing and all that. So yeah, I'd have to say everything. What about you?
My favorite part about this video specifically is, maybe the idea of maybe that we are wrong, that what we're worshiping is what had come to those people.
Right.
And that's what creeps me out the most, because like if it doesn't creep me out, it's
Right.
boring to me. The one thing that I love about this series is that it kind of makes you think. It makes you use your imagination, and that's what makes it scary. Because then you conjure up these things, like it could just be a door that's like blacked out around it to make it look like a really dark room, and it's kind of open, and you see in the dark hallway a little bit, and your mind starts conjuring these things that could be there. I think that's what my favorite part about this video and the rest of the series.
Well, and going back on that, like you said, what if, like, going back to that false prophets thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, what if what if it wasn't biblical at all, but they knew that that would get the people's attention, and what if they were just like aliens or the very first,
Right.
of the Mandela Catalogue, like, what if those are the first,
Mm-hmm.
and to spread their word, they wanted them to give them false belief. That way, they would be opening their, doors to strangers and whatever else, like.
Right.
I don't know. Like like we have our biblical talks, and we go back and forth on like what we believe and what we don't believe, and what could be possible, what couldn't be. Your stand on it, my stand on it. It's always
Right.
going to differentiate, but
Right.
like there's so much that like they have touched on and like haven't,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like in a way they want the watcher, the viewer, to come up with their own scenario and kind of fill in the blanks.
Right.
So I mean, anything is possible, but it's just like, what's the real truth out there?
Yeah. Right.
But I don't know.
Are we moving on? The next question is if we have any theories.
I kind of just touch base with it.
Right. Well, this isn't my theory, but I've always heard. I think I heard it from the YouTuber Wendigan, and he said that there was. I don't know if it was his theory or if he just heard it as well, but I heard it from him. Is that at the end of the video, you see the bold text that says, "Can't you see? I deceive their minds, such weak minds," or whatever it says, and then it goes to this other text that's like thin and gray that says, "I'm bound to my chains, blah blah blah. If there is a God, help me." My theory is that in this universe, if it is Satan, because they put a fucking Bible verse with it's about Satan being deceiving with his
Right.
disguise, so that way this person who is an
Don't
actual
mistake the devil for
an
angel, and
basically And my theory is that in this universe, what if Satan had overthrown, like the title, has overthrown heaven, and the person that is talking at the very end is God.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have anything else? Any theories coming?
I did,
to mind?
and then I lost my train of thought, and I'm just rolling with it. It's okay. It's your turn to talk anyway.
Okay. What is your rating out of 5 of this video?
I'd say like they do such a good job like introducing it, but then you're kind of sitting there like, did they introduce it? Like what was the meaning behind this? Because it's new, it's confusing,
Right, and if you've never seen the series before, you don't know what's going on. Why is it like that?
Right, and like that's kind of why I put it at like a 3.5, because it's a pilot episode. It's the very start, and it's one of those things where it gets better with time, gets better with more information, more episodes.
And once it makes sense, it becomes
it all
better.
Wraps up together, and so yeah, I'd have to rate it like a 3.5. I mean, which is still a strong start. But...
Right. I'm gonna have to go with a 4, just because like it like affects you in such a way that any other like you could watch a horror movie and be like, oh my god, that's scary.
But okay, it's done, it's over.
Yeah,
I don't have to feel
but
that
like
way.
when especially if you watch these videos at nighttime, you will like start seeing stuff. Like when you go to bed, you'll be like looking for like a pair of eyes in the dark,
Yep,
or
you'll
like a
leave a light
half of a
on.
face or something.
Yep, they'll leave a light on, especially if they're alone.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. And that's what bumps it up to a 4 for me. Like I agree with you. That's why I
Because
didn't do
it's
a
got a
5 out of
longer
5.
like aftertaste.
Yes, yes. It's got like this really bad aftertaste, but like in a good way. Like in a
Right.
horror stance, that usually means good.
For a horror fan, it leaves you satisfied but craving more.
Yes.
For somebody that isn't a horror fan, it's kind of like, I need to be prepared. I need to delve into this further and see just what, because you never know. I mean, how stuff is now, like you don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you're like, okay, this is intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, but I don't.
Right. That's kind of how it was when I first found out about it. I think I found out about it through Jacksepticeye, because he reacted to some of them.
Right.
I don't think he did all of them though, because there's like 11 now, and I don't even think he did the first 4.
Yeah.
I think it was just too much, and he didn't want to go through with the whole series. I think he just wanted to maybe watch the rest of it on his own time.
Have a few that felt creepy.
Yeah.
Share it, post it, whatever, get awareness, and then enjoy it by himself.
Right. I guess Wendigoon is friends with Alex Kister, the one who created.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I always thought that was cool. The, not to spoil anything, but the one video with the intruder with the hood.
Yeah.
That, Alex used that picture because of Wendigoon.
Really?
Yeah. He said that in one of his videos. I think it was his video on Mandela Catalogue. But, yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool. You got any last thoughts about this video?
No, I think
I personally, I think it's unsettling how the angel can like distort, and for some reason when its face is censored, when it's got that black box in front of its face. Well,
that's why I brought up the imposter. Like what if those are the imposters? Because
right.
It's distorted, it's changing, it's glitching out of circulation. So why?
I think that's one of the things that creeps me out the most about this, is because it's supposed to be Gabriel, the angel,
right? And
then it's got the blacked out face, and then it's normal for a second, and then it stretches its face. It's like it's like the
like it doesn't know how to respond, like it doesn't know how to blend in.
That angel, it's not Gabriel.
Right, and nobody's actually seen Gabriel to confirm that that's what he looks like.
Exactly.
So, yeah. No, I definitely agree with you, and that's what makes me think of the imposters. But then it's like, okay, we obviously are fans of Supernatural.
Right.
And when they asked him to reveal his face, she lost her eyesight.
Yep. Oh, so, Castio?
Yeah, so then it's like, okay, what if that is what, inspiration he took from, instead of the big white blinding light, maybe he boxed out the face, that way it wouldn't damage anybody, but then you have the distortion of the face, so that kind of invalidates that theory, but you never know.
Well, the thing that I think is creepy when the face stretches is I started thinking that maybe, like, the disguise is, like, the person in the disguise, or whatever it is in the disguise, is, like, it can't handle the disguise.
It's too much. It's like, overwhelming.
Yeah.
So then they're like short-circuiting or some shit.
Right. Maybe that's why there's like glitches and
right.
But that also could be like the analog horror part of it.
Right. Like it's always supposed to be like a VHS that is old, forgotten, lost, and some attic somewhere. Somebody moves in, they find it, and they start watching it.
I saw on TikTok earlier today somebody had actually put it on VHS. And, like, he put it in his VHS TV.
And then started watching it.
It was so cool. It felt like it was actually from that era.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Okay, I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all I've got, too. And thank you for listening to Random Things with Anthony and Kayla. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Also, check out Wendigoon and Jacksepticeye. And have yourself a great day. Again, this is Random Things with Anthony and Kayla. Bye.